Hello, World Tank Blitzers. It's Littlefinger. Happy Friday, October 21st. Yes, time for another store review. And sorry I missed you guys last week. Real life has gotten pretty busy. There wasn't a lot of changes in the store, so I decided not to take the time to do a review. But hey, now we've got the Halloween event here. There's a lot to talk about. So we're going to jump right into this review. And I apologize if it is a little bit on the lengthy side. A lot to talk about. First, pop-up offers are back on your desktop. You get offers between 2,000 gold and 16,000 gold. Typically runs about 800 to 1,000 gold per dollar. You can see I haven't bought much gold lately. And if you're buying gold in stores or you're buying tanks in stores, usually your offer will be higher, like the 8,000, 16,000. But you can see I haven't spent much. So 2,000 gold for $2. That's 1,000 gold per dollar. That is one of the best deals you will find. When I fill this up, I will certainly claim that deal. All right, I really haven't spent much time talking about the Operation Call of Folio, which, is the Battle Pass event for this month. But what I wanted to just mention, because adding the license allows you to unlock all the weeks, even if you've missed a week. I came in last night and I had not done a single mission with any of these. And so all 4 of these were basically undone. So within a matter of, 30, 40 battles, I was able to complete all of these missions, got me up to level 30 in one day. So I just wanted to point that out as let's go over to the store and find where these are real quick. Just so we can talk. I believe the Battle Pass is $5, and that gets you everything under the 2 lines. And if you are like me, falling behind and haven't completed the missions on a weekly basis, for $3, you can unlock all 4 of those at one time and get them done in a very short order. Haven't played the tank yet, so I cannot say if it's worth it or not. Now, let's talk real quick about Secrets of Lost Pyramid. This is a pretty cool looking event. I love the garage. I think Wargaming's done a very good job with this. All right, so white flags you get for simply winning battles, and that'll help you traverse up this line here to get the Med J. You'll note here that you've got one of these glyphs, and we'll talk about what the glyphs do in a second. And then you've got the ring key here, and we'll talk about that. Medjay, let's just take a look. Nothing special, tier 5 tank. It's got a pretty neat little camo on it that we'll talk about in the store in a second. But essentially, what you're seeing here, I don't have any glyphs. And so I have a 1% chance of getting the main reward if I use my ring key here to open it. But note, guys, here, the more glyphs you can get, the higher your chances are. And so hopefully this will take me up. So if you have no glyphs, it's a 1%. If you get 1, it's 7%, which you should be able to do just by completing the white flag part of this event. And then if you can get some ace masteries tucked in there, you can get this all the way up to 30%. So recommendation here is to hold on to your keys until towards the end of the event, giving yourself time to get those ace masteries and get this win percentage up. And you'll see your keys building up down here, and then you can go in and open that. And I guess it's just like a container, and it's got the percentage. 19 coin purses, so there's a chance, we can see it here. You've got the Pharaoh as the main tank, tier 7 tank. You are guaranteed to get, where is it, at the bottom here, a coin purse, 100%. So if you can get 19 keys here, you can open up this chest, which is guaranteed to give you one of the 4 tanks. If you pull one you've already got, it's gold in return. So a lot of little steps to this event, but certainly very interesting. You'll get 2 keys out of the linear event here at the bottom, and I believe you can get keys in the store. We still have the event going on for the Nightmare. It's a good little tank, kind of fun to play, but let's jump into the store and see what's going on. So here are your ring keys. They cost $2 each, and I'm almost 100% certain that this will keep popping up, so you can keep buying keys. So again, try to get as many glyphs as you can to get that percentage up as close to 30%, and then you can buy as many keys as you need to in order to get the tank or the 19, whatever they were, gold bags. Yeah. All right. So we've got a camo. This camo is only for the tier 5 tank in the event, and we can see it here. Pretty neat. Looks like it's mummified, wrapped here. Looks like a pretty neat looking tank. Haven't spent too much time looking at the details of the tank yet. Like I said, I haven't been playing a whole lot. We've got Dracula's Arsenal and Helsing's Arsenal, and I'm just going to open these up just to show you. You're not getting a great value here for your gold, 400 gold per dollar. You're getting 10 5x boosters that can be played for any tank, but I guess really what you're playing for is this essentially mission to get 75,000 XP so that you can get this Dracula background. I am not one to be paying for a mission to get a particular background. So here is what the Helsing looks like if you are interested. Pretty neat, I will say that, but yeah, not worth spending real money on and getting a bad deal in gold in return. We've got a new attachment here, the Soul Conductor. It is not available for all tanks, so if you've got a tank that you want it on, pull it up in your garage and then take a look to see if it works on the tank, and then you'll know that it's good for that tank. My guess, based upon the way this preview goes here, the Soul Conductor will disappear, that this is only going to be active during the beginning of the battle, and it's not going to be like the bats or the pumpkin or anything and be there the whole time. So just keep that in mind. I am not 100% certain on that. I haven't seen it in battle, so my guess is that it only shows for a short period of time. We'll talk about the TD bundle here in the Titan 54 when I get to the tanks, but for some reason I didn't see the Tankenstein in the tank section, so we'll talk about it here, and I believe I have it pulled up in my garage. 10 5x boosters only for the Tankenstein, 9 equipment slots. It is a tier 7 tank. The price is not bad. When this tank first came out, it was a really good tank. It has since been power crept a little bit. It does have 2 guns, which is a little bit unusual for a collector tank. It's got 105 millimeter and 130 millimeter. So if you buy the tank, you might not even recognize that you have a gun option on the tank. The 130 has an HE value of 600 damage. So that one can be a little bit more on the fun side. The higher DPM is obviously the 105 millimeter gun. In case you're like me and you miss one day of the Nightmare, it's 250 gold, which is actually the selling price for the tank if you own it. So for me, there's absolutely no point in purchasing a missing certificate because obviously I already own the tank. And I know I skipped over some stuff, but it's down here as well later on, and we will talk about it then. We've got the T15 and PZ2J, 2 low-tier tanks, both tier 3. PZ2J, kind of a fun little tank. If you don't know about it, it's kind of like the mouse at tier 3. It's got some really strong armor. It is extremely slow. You can obviously sell these for gold. 1950 would be your total gold in return, and you'd end up with 2 additional garage slots for $4. That gives you a 487 gold per dollar. So you can play around with these tanks for a little bit and then sell them, and you've made decent amount of gold. All right, so the Lockbox event here for the Object 2684, it had some other tanks that you could get certificates for, and I'll just go through that real quick. The event's probably almost over, but you can see the main tank was a 3% drop chance for the Object 2684, which is a really fun little TD because it's pretty difficult to pen from the front. It has a nice big gun doing a lot of damage on it. You can get certificates for the 268, certificates for the WZ120, E25, the Object 752, and the M4A1, along with potential gold. Now, the reason I wanted to just talk about this, I did the Lockbox event the last time it was available on my EU account, and I bought the bundle for 12 Lockbox keys for $20, which is the best deal to get the Lockbox keys, as they typically run $3 each. And I just happened to pull the tank on the first Lockbox. So I ended up having 11 Lockbox keys left over. You can sell these for gold if you don't want them anymore. Obviously, you're not getting a very good exchange rate if you do that. And so you can hold on to them for the next event, which is what I did. I have since used all 11 of those Lockbox keys and bought another 12 more. So I'm $40 in, and I am 10 certificates away from the 268 and 10 certificates away from the E25. So I'd obviously have to put a little bit more money in if I'm still getting the lock boxes. I'm not sure if they're still being handed out because I didn't see them yesterday. So that just gives you an idea, I think, of how much money you have to put in or expect to put in order to get the certificates, enough certificates to cash it in for a tank. We'll talk about these tanks when we get to the tank section. Again, Battle Pass is about 3,000 gold plus the tank itself. And again, the license really makes it easy to complete all of those missions in a very short amount of time. All right, so we get to the gold generator. And this one is a little bit intriguing because it combines gold and the gold boosters. And the way I figure gold booster is winning 50% of your battles at tier 10. You may do better, you may do worse. And so that is an unknown quantity here. But for $5, this only works out to be 360 gold per dollar, 415 for the source of gold, and 430 for the streams of gold. So there's obviously better ways to get gold in the stores. So keep this in mind when you look at these 3 resources here. And I'm just going to skip over paying the gold for boosters here. It's just not a good idea. You can get plenty of boosters just by opening your free crates and playing every day. So where are we at? The tanks. All right, guys. So I'll try to put a link straight to the tanks so we can skip over all that other stuff if you want. But right now we've got the Scorpion G, 10,000 gold by itself for a tier 8 tank destroyer. It's a little bit on the high side, I think, still for this tank. I'd like to see this tank. I really like this tank. Don't get me wrong. I like both of these tanks. I'd like to see this more in the 85 to 7,500 range. The SU-130, great speed. Gun could be a little bit more accurate. But again, 2 fun tank destroyers here. If you're torn between one or the other, the Scorpion obviously has a fully rotational turret, whereas the SU-130 does not. SU-130 is probably going to be a little bit faster, but with that turret movement, it's a little bit harder to stay concealed with your camo net all of the time. You can get the bundle there for $17,500. I still think this is just a little bit expensive. You are going to get the 2 camos here, and you're going to get some orders, which this one gets you mystery crates, which are not great at all. And this one is going to get you a TD crate, which actually has a 10% drop chance. So that is not a bad order there to try to fill out. But again, 2 tank destroyers, similar play style. I really like the bundles when you're getting 2 different tanks, but still think the price is a little bit high, so use that as you will. Titan 54D, way too expensive at 15,000 gold. This does have an interesting consumable in that you can change the angle here of the armor, and it's obviously only good for as long as the consumable is active, but it gives you an increased armor enhancement. So, you know, if you're in a brawling situation or a situation where you know you're about to get shot, you can activate that, and maybe you can ricochet a shot or 2 out of it. It's a slow tank destroyer, heavily armored, and it's just not my favorite playstyle. I have it, and I have not played it very often for that reason. Without the mystery crates and the 9 equipment slots and the garage, well, no, of course it comes with garage slots, 12,500. Still way too expensive. The Object 260 for 25,000. This is crazy, guys. This is a decent tank, but it's not really what I would consider a heavy tank. You cannot play this front line. I try to run it with the mediums. It's got good maneuverability. The gun will troll you a little bit, as it's a Soviet gun. So just keep that in mind. You know, you can do pretty well in the tank. 5 mystery crates, and just not into the mystery crates. Don't get a lot out of them. So that's really not an added bonus. The 5x boosters are only good for this tank, so that's another downside. 25,000 gold is a pass. It's just too much for all of that. 17.5 by itself is still pretty high. I would prefer to see this tank, you know, below 15,000 gold, obviously. All right, and we've got the 2 M6, the tier 7 and the tier 8 bundled here together for 75. You can see that's the savings there of, you know, 1,500 savings over buying them individually. Downside, 2 exactly the same tanks. 5x boosters only good for the respective tank. And if you learn to wiggle your turret with this tank, it is really strong tank, because basically only the side cheeks of this are pinnable from the front during most of your battles. As long as you are straight on with your enemy, you've got great frontal armor. The gun trolls you a good bit. It's not super accurate. Mobility is not bad for a heavy tank of this size. If I had to choose, obviously the tier 8 for 5,000 would be the way to go. And you do get all 9 equipment slots unlocked for that. So that's a silver saver right there. So hey, you know, if you haven't already, that's not a bad price for this tank, but it is a little bit one-dimensional of a tank if you ask me. So yeah, still places if you have the 2x bonus to buy gold for twice, you know, 35 for $50. That's 750 gold a bundle. That's better than most every deal that we've mentioned here in the game today outside of the pop-up offer on your desktop. There's also a link to the store online. Just change the link that I've got in the description below to your server, NAEU. And you can buy gold for 2x there if you haven't already. We've still got the esports. If you've got any of these coins from playing in tournaments, you can cash them in. Chances are you probably already have most of these tanks. So we'll skip on down. Not really going to talk too much about the crates. This one does have gold charms. The tanks in it, you know, range from Dracula, Annihilator, Helsing as tanks you definitely want, Smasher, to tanks that you're going to be pretty disappointed, Spike, Scavenger, you know. So just keep that in mind. 10 gold charms. So for every 10 of these that you open, you're gonna get a gold. You're gonna get 1,000 gold out of it. So there's 4,000 gold taken off this enormously high price of 47,000 for 45 of those. I would, again, just try out and stay away from crates if you can. That's been my goal for the last couple of new tanks, like the M4Y here, which has only been for sale in crates. I'm just not buying them. I'm waiting for them to hit the store. I'll pay a higher price first time they come for gold, but I know I'm going to guarantee of getting the tank as opposed to fishing for crates. As I mentioned before, TD Container has a 10% drop chance. Some interesting tanks in here, and then some tanks that aren't so interesting. So again, hard to gamble on crates if you're not into every tank that is in there. So guys, that is the store. As I just wanted to show you here that the Tankenstein does have the 105 millimeter damage per minute, 1649. 1,500 with the 130 millimeter, but 600 HE damage there. So guys, have fun with all of the events. As you know, we've got Mad Games, Uprising, Burning Games rotating pretty much on a daily basis. And it's just, a fun time to be playing Blitz. Just love this garage. Think they've done a great job with it. And Halloween's always a fun time. So anyway, have fun out there. Stay safe. Get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.